Any questions? All right, here's the good part. As I said, I'm passionate about food, and it's a great way to experience local culture. Local food is really in right now, so you have chefs around the world trying to source their ingredients from within 60 miles of their restaurant. So when you go to a very high-end restaurant in a new place, you really do these days get a very cool taste of the local culture. Here's how you find what you're looking for if you don't know what the good restaurants are. By far the most important thing up here is Relais Chateau. On the top left, that is a invitation-only consortium of the world's finest restaurants and boutique hotels. It is a French organization, so their focus is primarily in France, although they are all around the world. So the French Laundry, as I was telling you about, that's in there. Jean-Georges up in New York, Bernardine in New York, they're all up in there. I think there's only 10 in the United States, and I've been to a couple of them. I haven't had the pleasure of going to all of them, but just truly, truly exceptional restaurants. On the right, okay, well that's just a bird, I guess. I didn't get the name. That's Traditions and Quality, which is a competitor of Relais Chateau. They exclusively do restaurants. They're on the handout. So the difference between Traditions and Quality and Relais Chateau is that anybody who pays $250,000 and operates a restaurant can be listed in Traditions and Quality. So the difference between those restaurants is that those are a little bit more flashy. They include like Everest in Chicago, Lebec Fin over in Philly. So if you're looking for a really sort of like flashy restaurant experience, go with Traditions and Quality. If you don't care really what the restaurant looks like or who the other guests are, you're just looking for extremely good food and five-star service, go with Relais Chateau. If you're lucky enough to find a restaurant that's listed in both, then drop everything and go now. So in the United States, the only restaurants that are listed in both consortiums would be Jean-Georges up in New York, Bernardine, and the French Laundry. I'm sorry, no, there's one more, but I forget what it is. So Michelin Guide. This is the actual like Michelin tires. They started really, really long time ago in France, printing out a travel guide. If a restaurant received a single Michelin star, that meant that the people who wrote the guide figured that the restaurant was worth going out of your way a little bit. If a restaurant received 2 Michelin stars, that meant that if you're already going on vacation, it's actually worth taking a detour for a day to check out this restaurant. The service is that good. The highest rating you can possibly get from the Michelin Guide, which is arguably the most important guide, period, is 3 stars. So their standard for what constitutes a 3-star restaurant is that that can be the whole point of your trip, just to go to this restaurant. 3-star restaurants, you should expect it to take 4 or 5 hours, but think of it as a vacation. First of all, because it's going to cost you as much, but also simply because the experience is just so powerful. You go in and you leave a different person. You're just in a completely different place. It's just inspiring for me. I'm really into food, I guess, but yeah, 3-star restaurants are great. James Beard Foundation is an American nonprofit that is named after the famous chef James Beard, and they give out awards every year in like 10 different categories. It's sort of like the Emmys of being a chef. If somebody gets a James Beard, they're not necessarily a 3-star restaurant, but their food is that good and it's that creative. So when you're in a new area, look up who got a James Beard recently in that city, and you're guaranteed to have a good time. So. Just a quick note on molecular gastronomy. This is a somewhat new trend in food right now, and you're not going to see restaurants that follow this trend. Generally, you're not going to see them showing up in those sources I just mentioned. Molecular gastronomy is very, very architectural, very scientific food. For instance, I was at Alinea, which is sort of the capital of molecular gastronomy in the United States. And one thing that I got was it looked like a chocolate ball. It's this sphere of milk chocolate, and then you crack it open, and there was raw egg yolk inside, and it spilled out onto this white powder, which was gelled smoke, pure smoke that had been converted into gelled form and then powdered. And then you like swirl it all together, and it seriously tastes like you're eating bacon and eggs. So if you get a kick out of that, then definitely head up to Chicago. Chicago is certainly the center of molecular gastronomy in the United States. There's 2 restaurants there that are really leading the way. One is called Alinea. You probably want to book your tables for 2011 now. And then the other one is called Moto, which is a little more toned down and a lot of fun. Has a bit of an Asian influence. And you've checked out Moto, right?
I went to Alinea.
You went to Alinea too? Okay. So talk to either Stefan or I about both of those restaurants because we're fans. There is one place, a lot of the staff at Alinea defected to New York City and opened a place called WD-50. It has nothing to do with like the stuff you get at the hardware store. It's their address, but not quite as good, but if you don't want to make a special trip, WD-50 is great. Barcelona is the world capital of molecular gastronomy. There's a place called El Bulli, which is essentially an invitation-only restaurant. The only person I ever knew who got a table there was invited by the chef. They're only open 4 or 5 months a year, but if you can find some way of getting to El Bulli, go, because they're the ones who invented this. So again, if you're looking for a more traditional restaurant experience, these guys are what you're looking for. If you're looking for a 25-course dinner where it's all crazy stuff that tastes nothing like what it looks, check out Alinea.